Hi, I'm Samir Jain, and for this weekend, I recommend a great movie from the 70s. The name of the movie is The Man Who Would Be King, starring Sean Connery, Michael Caine, and others. I never tire of watching it. And it's relevant to what we see happening in our politics today, too. So, my takeaway after seeing this movie yet again is that authority is what people bestow upon one out of a belief that the person on whom it is bestowed will act in their interest. That's why we empower people. The people therefore also reserve the right to take it away unless the authority figure retains it by force. And in this movie, Sean Connery had 20 riflemen. Authority is also given out of tradition, where in this movie, husbands had authority over their wives. And it can also come from religious sanction, and we see that in many countries, as was the case of the holy monk in this particular film. The important point is, authority is not power always, and it certainly should not be confused with leadership. So Sean Connery is given authority over the people of this mythical country, Kabristan, when the incumbent king is deposed, and he builds credibility by leading them to success in war. He is given further authority when he is perceived as Alexander the Great's son, a god. So he made the mistake of becoming seduced to become a god rather than continue to derive his authority from being mortal and a strong military leader. I'm not sure if the holy monks here had any formal authority that was sanctioned by religion or custom. The film was not very clear, which supersede political or military authority, or maybe it was just spiritual, informal authority. But soft power brings a lot of authority and legitimacy too. The fact that these monks did have more authority than Sean Connery, the king, the god king in this movie, is very clear, as we see in a scene when all the armies that are in battle postulate to these monks and postpone the battle until they have passed. So often the authority that people provide to their leaders can be quite large, but it's not limitless, and it is there for a certain period of time. So Sean Connery had the authority to do what he wished with the holy treasures, settle disputes, and dispense justice, which allowed him to exercise leadership in ameliorating the conditions of the people. However, when he overstepped his authority by challenging the traditions and customs of the people, by wanting to marry a mere mortal, he started pushing the limits of his sanctioned authority. It's a great movie. In fact, he began alienating the priests, and in doing so, set the stage for them to take away his authority. There's a scene in this movie, even within gods there is a hierarchy. Let Imbra decide, the priests chanted. And the seasonal famines that struck Kabristan was seen as potent that the god Imbra disapproved. So Sean could have used his authority to make the transition to becoming a leader, not a god. He was seduced by a sense of destiny, his own sense of infallibility, which led to his doom. And I think you're beginning to get my subtle point. It's a great lesson for those who are drunk on power. Thank you for listening in.